Hello and welcome. I'm Christopher Shaw. I want to talk to you today about something we call the stick person. Now, it's a concept that has changed my life immeasurably. And the reason it does that is because it brings so much order to your mind. I want to quickly explain that to you today, how that works. Because when you think of the mind, most of us think of a picture of our brain or our head or something similar to that. But in reality, our mind is nothing more than an activity. It's not a thing. And unless we've got some way to represent that in our intellect, then we can never actually bring any sort of order to our mind. So today I want to just show you a very quick way to bring that order into perspective. So if I just grab a page here, and I'm going to ask you to think of the mind, but in this case, we're going to look at it a bit differently. We're going to say this time the mind is going to be represented by this big circle here. That's what we're going to call the mind. And we're going to look at it in terms of the body. So we're going to also add the body, and we'll add a couple of arms and legs so you can get a real perspective on what this is all about. Because what we've got here is a representation of the mind. This big circle being the mind, this smaller circle being the body. Now the interesting thing here is that the mind is separated into two parts. And if we just draw a line right across the center there like that, then what we've done, we're identifying two sides of our mind. The thinking side, or the intellectual side, which is in here, and the subconscious side, which is the automatic behavior we have, or the habits that we carry out every day. Now the interesting thing about the conscious mind, it's receptive to anything that's new, anything that's going to be available outside of you. And fundamentally, that means that your experiences are going to cause you to have thoughts, and your ideas are going to be manifested in this area in here. So that's going to be your conscious mind. That's your conscious mind up here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be able to come down here and consider that in here is our subconscious mind. But the way we create an idea is the most fascinating part of this model, because we have 5 senses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we can hear, smell, taste, touch, and feel. That wasn't right, but that's all right. And what we do is we process information through this. We receive information externally, we collect it intellectually, and we process it using our higher faculties. And the gift we have as human beings is that we have a higher faculty that allows us to evaluate our circumstances, allows us to analyze the things that are going on. And we do this by attaching things like, we look at it through our will or our desire. We look at it through our intuition. We look at it through our reasoning. We look at it through our memory and our intuition. And all these act to influence the thoughts we have, bearing in mind that the thoughts we have are going to be encouraged by the thoughts we've already got. What I mean by that is you've already got a preconditioning, a preconceptual understanding of what life's about, what rules, what values, those sorts of things that are occurring in your subconscious mind. These are your embedded beliefs. These are your guiding principles that will cause you to behave in a particular way every day. And that is also going to be what's responsible for creating the actions in your body. And these actions are going to be the results that you end up with. So those results are going to be determined by what you think up here, or in here rather. But if you've got results that you're not happy with, then you have to ask yourself, well, what's happening? And the bottom line is you're running a set of paradigms, or you're having thinking in here that is preconditioned or pre-programmed to cause you to behave in a particular way. And you're doing that without even giving it a second thought. So how do we change that? In order to change that, we have to process the information coming in. But what most people do is they go from the results they're getting, they look at those results, and they go back in here and they go, oh my goodness, I'm repeating the same thing again, and it goes round and round and round. The beauty of this model is we get to break that, because when we engage our intellectual faculties which we've got here, it means we can change the thinking that we have here. And when we change that thinking enough, we will alter the vibration we're on, and we'll start to impress these new thoughts, these new behaviors, and these new considerations into our subconscious mind to such a point that this disappears, the old thinking disappears, and it gets replaced by a whole new consideration. That's when change begins to occur. That's when you can achieve the things you want. And that's what this model is all about. It's about understanding that you are in control of your thoughts. It's understanding that you can alter the way you feel. It's understanding that you can alter the results that you get. And it's all about getting an awareness to such a level and moving yourself to such a new vibration that it allows you to consider life from a very different perspective. Because when your perspective changes, that means your paradigm's changing. So if your paradigm's changing, you've got a new perspective on life. If you've got a new perspective on life, you can really expect your results to be very different. But until you do that, nothing's going to change. Until you do that, you'll keep getting the same results, because it'll keep going round and round and round, like we said here. Just keep going up here, and you'll keep feeding yourself the same information. So the stick person itself, whilst very fundamental, is just an absolute gift and a blessing, in the sense that it explains to you how you process information from the outside, how you can reason it from the inside, how you can reprogram the subconscious mind through the process of repetition and embellishing and embedding new ideas into your subconscious mind until it becomes a natural part of behaviour. It then becomes a natural part of your activities or actions, and those actions are going to determine the results you'll get and will be demonstrated in your behaviour. So if you're not sure whether you're thinking positive or negative thoughts, just look around you. Just evaluate your life. What's your bank account like? What's the car like you drive? What's the home you live in? Do you rent? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have investments? What's your relationship like? You know, there's so many things to consider here that really are influenced and affected by this particular model. And if you get this model, if you understand this model and understand the fundamentals that this concept will bring order to your mind, then you're well and truly on the way to achieving personal or professional success at any level. You just need to choose. And if you choose right, if you think right, if you use your higher faculties and use your senses intelligently, then you can have anything you want, and you can make your life a masterpiece. I'm Christopher Shaw, and I'm wishing you continued success.